Hoping everybody has had a good day so far. Today, we are going to learn how to subtract integers. Okay, now remember what I write, you need to write. Okay, so subtracting integers. You want to know the great news? It's very similar to adding integers. The only thing is, there only changes one thing. Okay? And it goes back into the definition of subtraction. Okay? Subtraction is adding the opposite. Okay? And that's really the true definition of subtraction. Okay? It's just adding the opposite of a number. Okay? So here's what I mean by that. If I tell you 5 minus 2, we all know the answer is 3. But when we get into integers, that subtracting can be a little confusing to understand. What if I don't have enough? Okay? And we have to use the definition of subtraction. Well, subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite of the second number. Okay? So instead of subtracting, we're going to add. And what's the opposite of 2? Negative 2. So now we have 5 positives, and we're adding 2 negatives. Look familiar? From here, we just put them together because we're adding, right? We look for our 0 pairs. So put them together. How many 0 pairs do you see? 2. 1 positive, 1 negative. That equals 0. So those are 0. What is our answer? 3. And there's 3 positives. So the answer is positive 3. We already knew that because it's just 5 minus 2. We're used to subtraction. But we're not used to subtraction when we have nothing more to give, when we're dealing with integers, negatives. Okay? So the process of this is rather simple. First, and we have a little catchphrase, okay? Keep, change, change, or KCC. Keep, change, change. Now, there's different things or different ways it can be taught. It could be keep, flip, change, or keep, change, flip. Any pretty much synonym for change or inverting the number and the sign, okay? So here's what that means. We're going to keep the first number, okay? We're going to change the subtraction sign to addition or to adding, okay? And then we're going to change the second number to its opposite. Okay? Keep, change, change. That's step one. Keep, change, change. After that, what kind of problem do we have? We have an addition problem. And do we know how to add integers? Yes, we do. Okay. So from there, we simply just add them. We take what we got, add the integers. And that's it. Okay. So what's step one? Nice and loud. Good. What's step two? There you go. And you got it. Okay. Easy peasy. That's it. How weird is that? Let's do an example. Okay. What if I have negative 17 minus 5? Okay, what's step one? Keep, change, change. Keep this first number the same. So what do we write? Negative 17. Okay, negative 17. Change subtraction to addition, and then change 5 to negative 5. Keep, change, change. Now we add. All right, these are our integers that we've been adding. Same or different? Same. So we need to add their absolute values. Absolute value of 17 is, or excuse me, absolute value of negative 17 is positive 17. And the absolute value of negative 5 is 5, or positive 5. Okay, 17 plus 5 is, and what do we know about the sign of our answer? It's going to stay the same, so it stays negative. Pretty cool? All right. Let's do another one. And then I'm going to give you some to try on your own. Okay? Let's do 18 minus a negative 23. Uh-oh. Now I know it looks funny. The parentheses here have no meaning because there's only one number inside of them. The only reason they're there is so that you do not get confused about two signs being next to each other. Okay? And when we go further in our lessons, you might even see a number in front of the parentheses. What does that mean? Go ahead, shout it out. Yeah, it means multiplication. So we use parentheses for a couple of different reasons. In this case, there's no real number in front of it. It's just separating those two negative signs. Okay? All right. So what's the first rule? What's the first step? Okay. Let's keep, change, change. Try it. Go. Change subtraction to addition, and change negative 23 to positive 23. All right, this actually looks like a nice problem. Same or different? Same, and we know how to add positive numbers, right? Because we end up with a positive answer. So 18 plus 23. 41 is our answer. Are we dealing with negative numbers right now? Okay, that's a good question though. After you keep, change, change, this is your new problem. This is it. This is what you have to do. You have to add it. Okay, sometimes you won't have any subtraction signs left. Other times, like in this top example, you will. Okay. After you keep, change, change, This goes bye-bye. Okay? That's gone after you keep change. Yes, it was. But we had to keep change because subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite. And the opposite of negative 23 is positive. Or you could think of it this way. In this case, there's two negatives right next to each other, right? Where are my English people here? You like writing. You like English. Okay? What if I told you this? I don't not like this class. Do I like this class or do I not like this class? I actually like this class. Okay? If I say I don't not, that's what we call a double negative in English. And a double negative turns positive. So it actually means a positive statement. Even though it's a really weird phrase, okay? It's really weird saying double negatives together, okay? So we generally try to avoid that. In math, it's the same way. A double negative is always a positive. So if I see two negative signs right next to each other, they become a positive, just like they did here. I'm left with one positive. When I keep change, there was one left. Double negative becomes a positive statement. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's try some on your own. In your papers, I'm going to give you 6 problems to try. Okay, so try these and we'll go over them here in a little bit. Now let's go ahead and talk about the answers. See how you did. 8 minus 3, the answer is 5. 9 minus 17, the answer is negative 8. 13, or number 3, excuse me, negative 14 minus 9 is actually negative 23. 4 is 18. 5, guess what? 0. And 6 is negative 6. All right, so how'd you do? Hopefully you did well. Thank you for joining me in this video in how we subtract integers, and I'll see you next time.